All right, deep breath. Because if the Maestro S800 made you mad, the BYD Yangwang U8 is about to send you into a full-blown existential crisis about the American auto industry. Let me be very clear right from the start. This vehicle should not exist. At least not at this price point, not with this level of engineering, and definitely not while we're still arguing in the United States about whether EVs are real trucks. Because while we're stuck in debates and recalls, China quietly built an SUV that can drive sideways, spin in place like a tank, wade through floods, survive tire blowouts at highway speeds, and float. Yes, float. This is the BYD Yangwang U8, and I'm already annoyed that most of you watching this can't buy one. Now, if you've never heard of Yangwang, don't feel bad. It's BYD's ultra-luxury, no apologies, watch us flex sub-brand. Think of it like what Lexus was supposed to be for Toyota, except BYD decided to skip the safe phase and go straight to let's scare Mercedes G-Wagen owners. And here's the part that's going to hurt your soul. This thing costs about the same as a loaded Range Rover in its home market, yet it makes that Range Rover feel like a fragile fashion accessory. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you're either going to want one desperately, or you're going to be very uncomfortable about how fast the global car industry is changing. Let's start with the way it looks, because the Yangwang U8 does not care about being subtle. This thing is aggressively rectangular. It doesn't have curves, it has opinions. From the front, it looks like a vehicle designed by someone who got tired of SUVs pretending to be sports cars. You've got this massive, upright grille with a bold Yangwang logo sitting dead center, like a badge of authority. The headlights are squared off, crystal-sharp LEDs that look like they could interrogate you. There's no friendly face here. This SUV doesn't smile, it stares. And the size? Oh, it's big. We're talking full-size luxury SUV big. Roughly G-Class dimensions, but wider, heavier, and more planted. This thing doesn't look like it's going to squeeze into a Whole Foods parking lot without causing emotional damage to nearby vehicles. From the side, you see those massive squared wheel arches, wrapped around 22-inch wheels that look like they were designed for armored transport duty. The belt line is high, the windows are narrow, and the whole thing screams, I am not here to be aerodynamic, I am here to survive. And the rear? Vertical LED taillights, a full-size spare tire mounted proudly like a trophy, and a tailgate that looks like it could stop a meteor. No fake vents, no gimmicks, just raw industrial confidence. This is not a car for influencers. This is a car for people who want to feel untouchable. Now step inside, and this is where your brain starts glitching, because the interior of the Yangwang U8 is shockingly luxurious, but not in a soft, British, hand-stitched leather and tea kind of way. This is command center luxury. Everything is wrapped in high-grade leather, metal, and real materials. No piano black plastic nonsense. The dashboard is wide, flat, and serious. You get a full digital driver display, a massive center infotainment screen, and a secondary passenger display, because of course you do. But unlike some EVs where screens feel slapped on at the last second, these are integrated, recessed, and purposeful. It feels like the cockpit of a high-end helicopter. The seats? Absolute thrones. Heated, ventilated, massaging, and built for long-distance comfort. This is not a sporty bucket seat situation. This is you could cross a desert and still feel fresh seating. And the rear? Oh, the rear is executive level. Tons of legroom, individual climate controls, premium materials everywhere, and enough headroom that you forget this thing can literally crawl over boulders. It's the kind of interior that says, yes, we might go off-road, but we're doing it comfortably. Now let's talk about why the Yangwang U8 is not just another luxury SUV, because this thing is powered by BYD's E4 platform, and that changes everything. Instead of a traditional drivetrain, the U8 uses 4 independent electric motors, one for each wheel. That means every single wheel can be controlled individually with instant torque and precise power distribution. Why does that matter? Because it allows the U8 to do things that sound like science fiction. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. The Yangwang U8 can perform a tank turn. That means it can rotate 360 degrees in place, just like a military vehicle. No forward motion, no 3-point turn, just spin. You're stuck on a narrow trail? Spin. Tight parking spot? Spin. Want to flex on everyone at Cars and Coffee? Spin. And before you ask, yes, BYD has software controls to prevent you from destroying pavement. This isn't some uncontrolled party trick. It's engineered. Now, here's where I stopped laughing and started paying attention. BYD demonstrated the U8 driving at highway speeds with a completely blown tire. Not limping, not crawling, driving. Because with 4 independent motors, the system instantly compensates, redistributes torque, and stabilizes the vehicle. The car doesn't yank, it doesn't panic, it just keeps going. Tell me right now, what other luxury SUV can do that? I'll wait. Okay, this is the part that sounds fake, but it's not. The Yangwang U8 has an emergency water floating mode. If you drive into deep water, like flood levels, the car can seal its body, raise the suspension, shut down vulnerable systems, and float for up to 30 minutes, moving slowly to safety. This isn't meant to replace a boat, it's a survival feature. And let me just say this, in a world with increasing floods and extreme weather, that's not a gimmick, that's forward thinking. Meanwhile, some SUVs can't survive a cuddle without throwing warning lights. The Yangwang U8 has adjustable air suspension with massive travel, insane ground clearance, and approach and departure angles that put it squarely in hardcore off-road territory. But unlike traditional off-roaders, there's no lag, no gear hunting, no waiting for torque. Electric motors deliver power instantly, exactly where it's needed. Rock crawling? Easy. Sand? Controlled. Mud? No drama. This thing doesn't fight the terrain, it calculates it. Now let's talk numbers because yes, this brick is fast. We're talking over 1,100 horsepower combined, 0 to 60 in around 3.5 seconds. That is absurd for a vehicle that weighs as much as a small building. This is G-Wagen AMG power, without the noise, without the drama, and with infinitely more control. The U8 uses an extended range EV system. That means it's primarily electric, but it has a gasoline engine acting as a generator to recharge the battery. Total range? Over 1,000 kilometers combined. Translation, road trips without anxiety, off-road adventures without fear, and no constant charging stress. Now brace yourself. In China, the Yangwang U8 starts at roughly 150,000 USD. Now before you scream, remember what you're getting. A luxury SUV, 4 independent motors, tank turn, blowout stability, water floating, 1,100 plus horsepower, insane interior, advanced ADAS, off-road dominance. If this wore a Mercedes, Land Rover, or Porsche badge, this would be a $250,000 to $300,000 vehicle minimum. And yet, here we are. The Yangwang U8 isn't scary because it's cool. It's scary because it proves something. It proves that Chinese automakers are no longer copying. They're not catching up, they're leapfrogging. They're building vehicles that solve problems we haven't even admitted exist yet. And unless markets like the US wake up, we're going to be watching this revolution from YouTube videos instead of our driveways. So let me ask you this, and I already know this comment section is going to explode. If you had the money, are you taking a Mercedes G-Wagen with a loud V8 and a legacy badge? Or are you taking the BYD Yangwang U8, the electric tank that floats, spins, survives blowouts, and laughs at terrain? Would you trust it, or does it scare you? Drop your answer in the comments. Smash that like button if this blew your mind. Subscribe if you want more brutally honest breakdowns of the future of cars. And BYD, if you're watching this, bring it to North America. We're ready.